If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
They do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We are doing a Stacie's Metal Family.
It's a retirement stream.
It's a retirement stream.
Apparently.
Yeah, so I assumed that meant that the big homie was retiring from the United States military.
Could be.
The military.
First song.
Hopefully it's not that they're retiring from us. What's up?
Oh my word, that would be so sad, but it would also be like a funny way of saying good day.
Yeah, good day. We've had enough.
Yep.
A lot of that going around.
Okay, so we have Lamb of God, the Duke up, and they said this is just a banger to get the night started.
Yup, that's what they said. All right,
so
song
let's check it out.
numero uno is a band by the name of Lamb of God. I'm sure you've heard of them before. By the way,
this right here is Fernando and his youngest daughter. How cute.
Yeah, by the way,
I like that paint you did.
By the way, speaking of copyrights and all that jazz, our Guns N' Roses catalog is currently being uploaded to Rumble.
It's slowly going up there.
If you remember, guys, Guns N' Roses hit our channel with copyright strikes. Like, they almost shut down the channel.
Yeah, we almost got shut down overnight. It was crazy.
So we're not doing any Guns N' Roses on YouTube, but now that we have other platforms to operate from, we will be, I think, is there at least one of those up there already?
There's two. There's two. Two of them went up. I think one of them something about 1 million and something about a child of mine. Sorry, that's as much as I can remember.
The Sweet Child of Mine?
Sweet Child of Mine probably is one of them, and something about 1 million. Million?
All right, but we're not talking about them right now.
No,
First of all, we're dealing with the Duke.
All right, you
from
guys.
The band Lamb of God.
Let's check it out.
What's up, Tasco?
Also, if you're a patron, I set up a poll on there for some like additional content. So
block him.
So go check. Go check.
Okay, here we go, guys. Pantera. Lamb of God, sorry.
Let's do it.
The Duke.
Forever, but you can't escape from life. Every day could be your last, so consider your demise. to spend the time that's left to stay much longer. My body begins to fail as my spirit grows stronger. It's time for me to go. The circle closed as the snake eats its tail. Lay my burden down, walking free beyond the pale. No time is left to look up in the night, see me right across the sky, hanging there above, far away but so nearby. I am the smoke, I'll know it burning in your eyes. Cast aside an empty shell, but I will never die. I will never die. I will never die. I will never die. Look up in the night, see me right across the sky, hanging there above, far away but so nearby. I am the smoke, I'll know it burning in your eyes. Cast aside an empty shell, die. I will never die. Never die. I will never die.
Oh, I took that as like an eternal sort of thing. Like,
Yeah, that's probably the way you meant it. Let's see, got the lyrics up there in this bitch.
so Lamb of God, they're not religious, right?
No. I actually emailed them one time,
Oh, really?
like way back in the day. Yeah.
For what?
Well, because I was asking about the name. Actually, it wasn't me. It was Shorty. Shorty sent them an email and was like, "Yo, are you guys Christians? Do you know what the term Lamb of God means?" And they wrote back to her and they said, "No, we're not Christian. We don't have any problems with Christians, but we're not Christian. We just thought it was cool, you know."
Did they know what it meant, or they didn't comment on that?
They didn't comment on whether or not they knew what it meant. They just said, we don't, we don't have a problem with religion, but we're not a religious band. Blah,
I mean,
blah, blah.
it is interesting. I mean, look at the album
I know we're a little
cover.
chippy guys, but it'll catch up soon. Don't worry. What's the
See the
yeah,
album cover?
Yeah,
Or
they
what's it-
use a lot of religious imagery. I mean,
Yeah.
they obviously know the story to some degree, but yeah.
Does that chippiness have anything to do with all the downloads I've been doing on that computer?
It might if the downloads are still going,
Oh no, they're not.
but
They're not. Yeah, they're not.
it'll
It'll fix itself. Okay. All right.
LOG wrote this song about a fan who died from cancer. Yeah, I figured that was the idea, because he says, look up in the night, see it right across the sky. You know how it's like, a shooting star or whatever is a, an angel or a spirit, getting free or whatever people call it.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah, look up at the night sky, see it right across the sky, hanging there above, far above, but so nearby.
Oh, yeah. See it right across. Yeah. Far away, but don't see it right.
So a lot of people relate natural phenomena to their, their deceased family members. Like that dude I was listening to,
sending him a message.
Combat dude, where he was convinced that there was, after he became a Christian and all that, he was convinced this owl used to come to his, his
window.
Yeah, and it never came before, but it started coming after, and the guy was convinced that it was his dad, communicating and letting him know he's okay, whatever. But,
Did it stay for a while, or was just like a temporary?
I mean, it was, the way he described what the animal was doing was abnormal. I mean, it wasn't like, but that's a pretty big logical leap to go from that to, oh, that's my, previous whatever. Go ahead. What were you saying?
You're gonna actually be surprised, but I used to feel really uncomfortable when people would tell me those stories. Like there was this woman, and she told me that she had lost her daughter, and that her daughter loved butterflies and had like a butterfly tattoos and stuff like that. And she said that she started seeing these butterflies everywhere after her daughter passed away, and so she was like, "Oh, that's my daughter." Her daughter was sending her a message, and when the lady told me, I felt really uncomfortable because I was like, I don't know if that can... I guess I'm a little bit more open-minded to the stuff now based on the fact that, we all have angels, and angels are messengers and stuff. And so, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit more open to it. I'm not open to like stuff where, people are having appearances and stuff and it's scary. Like that to me is like a negative phenomenon, but yeah, I'm a little bit more open to it now.
Well, it's interesting. We're watching a show, and there's a character on a show who's essentially a disembodied consciousness that pretty much has complete access to the island.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's an interesting concept because in one of the episodes, it looks at the place from the perspective of if you were that thing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's really, really interesting what people,
Ian, the reason I didn't think that the butterflies was the daughter is just based on our theology. Like it says, and for every time I bring up this verse, Vinny always like says that I'm taking it out of context, but I can never remember the correct context. But the verse says, it's appointed unto men once to die, and after this, the judgment. So it gives the idea that God has appointed your day and your time, and that after that, like you're not like wandering around like some disembodied spirit here on the earth, but that you're with the Lord. And so, whenever there was something like that, I guess for me, I just felt like I was worried that it would open the door to activity from disembodied spirits, and not spirits from like, cause we've talked about it before, how the spirits came down and had relations with the women of old, and that from them came the giants that were, the Nephilim. And so when the Nephilim died in the flood, essentially their spirits just were roaming after that, and that became like the demonic things of the Old and the New Testament, and throughout time. Essentially they're cursed to just roam without a body, which is why possession and, sometimes even animal possession and stuff takes place, is because they're still like searching around for a body. So I guess I've always been really conscious of spirits and like supernatural beings. So for me, I was worried that it would open the door, because that was, I had read this book when I was a teenager, it was a really creepy book. Not sure even really why my mother had it. I ended up figuring out that, like, of all of our sheltered environment, my mother's books were not so sheltered. So there was some interesting content down there because it was like deeply religious, but mixed with other stuff. And essentially it was a story of, I think it was called The Beautiful Side of Evil. It was a really creepy story of this woman that has these encounters with this demon, basically. And she just recounts how it went, and it at first started out as like this positive sort of thing, and then it slowly became more controlling until it was dangerous and very scary. But one of the things that I believe it was in that book, or it was in one of her other books, was the person had their grandmother had passed away, and they felt like this presence in the room with them. And then they saw like this indentation, like on the bed, like something had sat down beside them. And they were like, and then they began to see like something there, like kind of looked like an older woman that was like friendly. And they started conversating with it and stuff. And it eventually, like, this thing like tries to like kind of take over too much of their life. And they realized that it wasn't their grandmother after all, but it was some sort of evil being or whatever that had, like, I don't know, came looking like the grandmother. Now, whether or not the story is true or not, I was a teenager. I believed it was true, and I'm not opposed to thinking that something like that could actually happen. So I'm always, you know, really, I guess I'm always more concerned if people are like overly trusting of phenomena that could be evil.
Yeah, I just, like, I think God can operate within people's worldview to try to, you know, comfort them or whatnot. I think there's a difference between saying, oh, that shooting star, whatever, you know, that shows me that so-and-so's okay or whatever. But if, you know, you start drawing out implications from that experience to apply to your life, that's when it may start getting real dangerous, you know?
What do you mean?
So, like, if you just look at this part of the grieving process, like, oh, I saw a shooting star,
Yeah.
that's Mom Dukes or whatever. You know, I don't really see a problem with that per se, but then when you start extrapolating from that, like, oh, I saw another shooting star on Saturday, that means I need to do this thing here on Monday. That's when it gets kind of iffy. But it's like a morning ritual, which I see a lot of people do. You know, when the dudes lost all their friends in a car accident, and I was kind of like the religious guy at work, so they were all coming up to me, and one of them showed me this picture, and they were like these like orbs of light, which to me, it was like the flash on the camera, but Shorty was convinced that was her friend saying that, you know, hey, I'm okay, don't worry about me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, Sammy, whatever. You know, like, whatever she needed, bro. Like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was okay.
Yeah, and I would say, too, that I had a friend who was not religious, but she would kind of ask me questions and stuff. And she had, this was years before I met her, she had gotten pregnant, and the baby, I can't remember what the thing is, but basically the baby was not going to survive. And she still went through with the pregnancy because she told me she wasn't a Christian. She had no, you know, religious anything. And she said, like, she's like, because they offered to abort the child. They said, you know, why you're going to let this baby go through all of this and then struggle to live for hours or whatever. And she said, I was surprised that she didn't take that option because from my understanding, only Christian people were like pro-life. I didn't realize that they were like, I mean, you know, I only came up in one environment.
Sure, yeah.
So she said, this had happened a couple years before I met her. She said, no. She's like, I was so offended that they asked that question. I said, really? Why? And I would have been upset too, but I was just surprised. Anyway, she said basically, like, I'm his mother. And she said, I'm never going to take his life. And she said, if that ends up happening, then that's, you know, basically, like, you know, that's what the universe decides or something like that. But she said, like, I'm never going to do that to my own child. And so she went through with it, and the baby did only live like like 6 hours or something. It was pretty terrible. But she had told the baby before it died, like every time that, you know, you flick on a light and it goes out, that is you telling me that you're okay and that you're with me. And she said that when she got back home after the funeral, she flicked on the light and it went out. And she was like, oh, okay, you know, he's with me. And then she went down the hall toward her bedroom and she flicked on the hall light and that one went out too. And then she was kind of like, but the second time it kind of felt a little bit like she started feeling a little uncomfortable with it. It happened like 3 or 4 times. And then she felt like, she said like this fearful sort of feeling. And then she said like, this can't be the baby. Like she was like, she said, and then she said out loud, like, I don't want this. Like, if you're good, you're good. I don't want this. Or something like that. And then it stopped and it didn't happen again after that. But it was a difficult choice for her to make because she was kind of like on this precipice of like, okay, like, well, what if it was the baby and the baby's doing what I told it to do? But at the same time, why is this fear coming with it and stuff? So, I mean, I think she made the right choice. So those stories kind of influenced my thoughts. So when the lady said the butterfly thing, I was a little bit like, you know, worried. Although now I do see those things differently. You know, like you said, like how, you know, it depends on how far it's going to go. Is it, I saw this, so now I'm going to do this, and this thing. Or it's just like, I do think that messages can get sent that the people are okay. But I think that's really crazy that they wrote a whole song for one fan. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, Korn did a song like that for this kid named Justin. It was on the Follow the Leader record. If you bought the cassette, it was the first song on the second cassette. It's called Justin.
It makes sense if the person was like on the way to the concert and something happened like that you would know that story. But like this person, you know, I think you read it was cancer. So
yeah, the Justin one was, you know, those things where it's like the kid's dying, he's get one more wish type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to meet Korn, and so they went over to chill with him before he died. And
they did.
Yeah, you know, Jonathan is all mega sensitive, so he wrote the song for him.
Oh wow, that's.
That's true. Nobody lives forever. Every day could be your last, so consider your demise. Mine is drawn so near, stare into the eyes of the end, reaping without fear the time that's left to spend. Yeah, man. I mean, you might think you have time with a person when you really don't. You know what I'm saying? Or the people in your life are maybe a lot older than you think they are. So it's a good reminder, man. You know,
yeah.
Get with your folks before they turn into stars and all that jazz. That's actually a thing in intertestamental Judaism, that the righteous dead go to become stars, and then the stars get associated as angels and shit.
Mm. When he says my body begins to fail as my spirit grows stronger, he's talking about himself. Like the singer is saying this?
Well, I think he's incarnating as the kid,
person.
You know?
Okay. That's sad.
Jonathan was saying one of the things that really tripped him out about the kid, about Justin, was that he was so like peaceful. He'd overcome the fear or whatnot and made peace with it.
Mm.
That was one of the things that really, you know, stayed with Jonathan through that situation. So there you go. What did you John says too emotional? I don't know if it's too emotional, man. I mean, it's the destiny of every man. Look, see, I will never die, I will never die, I will never die. Mm-hmm. And I think that's talking about like the world has grown too small, I can't stay much longer. Yeah.
That's a tough line.
BC said, I've cried more over a dog than my grandparents. I feel guilty about not feeling guilty.
You know what, BC? I don't think that we should like like judge ourselves so much in our grieving situations because, like, for instance, I knew somebody, I was going to say who the person was, but let's not go that far, that would never cry about like what was actually the issue, but would always find something else, because to cry about the actual issue was just too much. I mean, maybe sometimes we don't even really know ourselves. Like, it could be that you just didn't have that deep of a relationship with your grandparents, but you had a deep relationship with your dog. Or it might be that grieving for your grandparents was just too big of a grief, and, you know, grieving for your dog just felt more something that you were able to do in the moment. But, you know, respect for the dead. But I don't think, you know, people should judge themselves for the way that they grieve or the way that they work through that process.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, philosophically, if you look here, he's got some sort of consciousness after death type of thing. I mean, he's incarnating as the person who's dying, you know. And I just think all of us know intuitively that, you know, I mean, you might say life after death is you know, wishful thinking, but life after death is not always fun, especially if you read some of these things. Sometimes these NDEs are not fun experiences. So even as a secularist, you know, matter, you know, energy cannot be created or destroyed or whatnot or whatever. But just as a secularist, we have no scientific backing to say that we know definitively that consciousness does not continue after death. And there's a lot of information that would lead one to believe that that is the case. So, but shout out to Lamb of God though, for, you know, you're a metal band. You're supposed to be edgy all the time. You're supposed to glorify death all the time. But it's clear to me that this dude right here was really, really impacted by the time he had with that guy. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's what it's about. You know, how did the person impact you? How'd you impact them? That type of thing.
I think that, you know, it says that I was knit together in my mother's womb. So the idea is that when we were being formed in secret, it says, so because obviously before your mother even knows that she's pregnant, before anything pops up on that test, God is already working to build you inside of her. And so there's this idea that God is with the child as he's forming the child. And then, you know, throughout our lives, we can like cover our ears more to his voice, or you can open your ears more to hear him. And I think that, you know, a lot of it is intention, you know, like, do you want to hear the Almighty or you don't want to hear the Almighty? But I think that regardless, that at the end, he's there. Like what this person said, lay my burden down, walking free beyond the veil. I think to Vinny's point, like, I mean, I don't know this person's life, so I don't know if they were walking free behind the veil, because I don't know what their afterlife was going to consist of. But I do think that that just as at the beginning, so would be at the end, because I just believe that God is there at the end for people. But whether or not he's there in comfort, or it's not in comfort, is to be determined, I think. But I definitely think that he's a part of that process for sure.
Yeah, give this one a 9.1 for me.
I would give this one a 9.2. It got heavy, you know, at different parts of it. I also like the parts where the guitar does it, you know, when they start screaming guitar.
Yeah, these guys, Stacie's, they always know how to balance out the heavy lyrical content with the the heavy shit. He did a really, really good job. JB says, tough subject. I don't like the song that much. It's the destiny of every man, my boy. Look it straight in the eyes. All right, commercial break. We'll be right back. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch, you guys, White Zombie Children of the Grave is
White
up
zombie
next.
in this bitch. White zombie.
We've got Fernando over here.
Yes, Fernando.
And this is his youngest daughter. Stacie is also around. I assume she's in the chat. And we are going to listen
all
to
metally and shit.
Yes. They this is the message that they have for us. Another awesome cover of Black Metal. Another awesome cover of Black Sabbath by Rob Zombie. Definitely puts a great spin on it. All right, let's check it out, you guys.
We'll be the judge of that.
Yes.
We'll be the judge of that, Mr.
Fernando.
Mr. Fernando. This is a very masculine set list, though, Mr. Fernando. I gotta tell you, you got some of the heaviest shit in the world on this bitch. All right, here we go. White Zombie, Children of the Grave, Vin and Sori. Let's do it.
Shadow of the atomic video.
they're enjoying themselves. Does not sound like they're enjoying themselves, dear listener. Stop lying.
Oh my gosh,
their doorbell
chime.
Wow. Stop lying. That better not be. I swear to God, bro. Okay, so that was the Manson family, right? Like that was the 1969.
That's what I'm guessing. The Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah, so that now we're allowed to say is an MK Ultra. That was the CIA.
Yeah, apparently he was part of that program, possibly, or is that definitely? I know, like I watched. Did you watch that documentary with me?
Which one?
With Manson, and it kind of like, that's where it was talking about the MK Ultra stuff, and it kind of presented the thing differently. It was a little bit surprising.
The dude came on the Joe Rogan show. There was a guy that was he was just gonna do like a little bit thing on it, and then like he was looking into it, and he started seeing all these meetings that he had with agency actors, and the MK Ultra program was part hypnosis, part LSD, part other things that are redacted, and the idea was you could get people under the power of suggestion with a combination of these chemicals. You could do that with hypnosis and the power of suggestion to get them to basically do anything that you want them to do. So, for example, just theoretically was the idea, like, let's say we wanted somebody to do a kamikaze mission. Well, most people, kamikaze means you're going into a mission in which you are guaranteed to die. Dying is the point of the operation. Most people... the instinct to survive is too high for such an activity, especially when you're looking for people who are operatives. Yeah, CIA, they call them operatives. That's why on the military side you want to be an operator. It's so ridiculous. And seriously, you get them in a room, it's like, oh my God.
That reminds me of, like, remember that black and white slang?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's so ridiculous. And, agency, it's always like, we're the brains, you guys are just, we send you guys to... It's true. And then they're like, yeah, and then you guys are always calling us terrified, scared to death, crying. Also true. It's true. So, but like, the idea was, what if we wanted to get him, and it's one of those things where like break glass in case of an emergency type thing. Like the government wanted a group, not of super soldiers, but really just blank slates to get them to do whatever the government wanted to do. So like if you wanted to do targeted assassinations, there are theories that a certain legendary musician was killed in New York because of... as a byproduct of that stuff. So there's a lot around the MK Ultra program that people can look at. But yeah, there's a 4-hour Joe Rogan segment where homeboy breaks down the specifics, all the times Manson went to prison and then got let out like the next day, and he didn't have a private defender. There was nobody there, but he just keeps getting let out. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
So. I mean, I think people...
I thought he saw himself as like a sort of Messiah Christ figure type of situation. Like he was that...
Well, I don't know what he actually saw himself as, because the Charles Manson I know, and is a Charles Manson that was inundated with this MK Ultra stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that he thought that before.
At some point he began to adopt that ideology for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just crazy, like when you were seeing footage of like the girls that participated in it, like even when they were talking, it still seemed like that they were not right. I mean, obviously anybody that does that is not right. But I'm saying, like, it seemed like that there was like some sort of influence that was still over them, even in there, even when they were talking there.
Yeah. And I mean, there is, I mean, crazy shit. People jumping out of windows, all types of shit. With
when they're
MK
in that
Ultra.
program.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah, because think about it. There's so many things you can do with that. You know, like we had one terrorist attack on 9/11 got us $8 trillion in the military-industrial complex. 20 years in the global war on terror. 1.5 million dead civvies. One event, right, was able to do that.
Yep.
You can imagine the Israelis' philosophy relative to that. How one action can then justify other actions, right? So, like, one action on October 7th, now we're up to like 40,000 dead on the other side because that justifies that. So, MK Ultra is an extremely dangerous program that our government engaged in, and they were doing that shit in 50, 60 years ago. So you could just imagine
what we're doing now.
Has there ever been a time, dear listener, when human beings have said, you know what? We just tapped into something really crazy here. We should stop right here. When have we ever done that? Like, shit, we can get these people to follow this guy. I mean, he wasn't the most handsome fella in the world, but this guy was surrounded with females, bro. So, I mean, I don't know.
When it says at the beginning, revolution in their minds, the children start to march against the world in which they have to live. And all the hate that's in their hearts, they're tired of being pushed around and just told what to do. They'll fight the world until they've won and hell comes flowing through. I think that there is, like, as human beings, like, I think that we have to recognize our draw toward being extreme. Like, you know, each generation is just, they don't like what that generation say, whoop, they swing the other way, and then we're just swinging back and forth. And I think that the idea, and I think that this is where it comes down to the whole balance idea, the push and pull of everything, the, you know, the yin, the yang sort of thing, like right down the middle is where we're trying to be. But I think we're always trying to, instead of saying, okay, where's the path that I'm supposed to be on? Instead, we're like, well, I'm going to swing as far away from that as I can because I hate that. Instead of realizing that the way to actually hate something and do something about it is to find the natural middle that should be there. And I think that generationally, I mean, we're seeing it with, you know, we're seeing it even with the way that the trans community, if you just look at that, the way that our generation, the generation before us, it was like complete cutthroat, right? Like our parents, it was like there was no space for anybody in that category. And then our generation, we just opened up the doors and we judged our parents for what they did. And now our kids are like, yo, and they're doing something, you know, see what I'm saying? Like, it's just we got to find the middle, and we just have to find our middle. We have to find our stasis, but we're just, you know.
But the problem is that, you know, children are extremely impressionable. And so there's a lot of question as far as Manson goes. Like, we know he was in the program, but there's precious little we know about his disciples as far as, like, you know, because they were not all, I mean, he would keep them high, obviously, and all the rest of it.
I think it was LSD, right?
Yeah. But, like, he I mean, there are certain groups when you go to call out that's part of the qualification. It gets you really jammed up on LSD and then see if you can accomplish X, Y, Z tasks without whatever. So, I mean, you
they'd be like, lady, you are now out of the program.
Well, there's just lots of I mean, they simulate crashes, IDs, all types of shit. That's why people die in training. But, like, you know, like...
Wait, what do you mean? They simulate crashes and stuff, and you're saying that's why people die? Like, their heart fails them after seeing that?
People die in training a lot.
Yeah, I have heard of that.
Yeah. But one of the things that's interesting is revolution in their minds, the children start to march. And I was listening to there was this guy that I had to become best friends with. Close to 10 years now. And yeah, it's just like one of those people.
Okay.
And so I'd watch him and I'd listen to him and I'd listen to him talk. And like when he would talk, I would think to myself, if I was not an American, I would 100% join this guy's thing immediately. You know, this dude was super influential. At the time, he was actually more of a threat to us ideologically than bin Laden was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And his big thing was revolutions are always dependent on the young. And so he just went through history, went through Islamic history, and it was like, yo. And I remember like at the end, but this is about 10 years ago now. Like I remember like towards the end of his little flurry, he's like, this Ummah, you know, the Islamic family, has always depended on the youth. And it's true. Battle of Badr, Battle of Uhud, blah, 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 blah. There's always the youth. And he's like, you know, look at the situation we're in right now, and it's going to be the youth that are going to get it. It's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the point is, you don't have to get everybody jacked up on this stuff. You just need to get one really influential person, get him jacked up on the shit, and then he's just going to, that's their superpower. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like that, leaders like that, that's their superpower. Mm-hmm. So it's just really, really crazy. You know, committing one of the most heinous crimes in history, yada, 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 yada. And it's like our government, like, plotted a lot of this shit. It's unbelievable. It's just incredible. It's incredible. But they're the government. What are you going to do?
Exactly, yeah.
Shout out to Rob Zombie for that song, though. The previous song, too, I wanted to comment on that Lamb of God song, was that I've never heard vocals like that from Lamb of God before. Have you? Stacey's Metal Fan, have you ever heard vocals like that from Lamb of God? I'm usually used to the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the Cookie Monster shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one was interesting, the way that it sounded when it first started out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I don't know what instrument was being used there, but it was definitely something different. Or different sounding. It was kind of unique. You know what it is? Like, I pictured, you know, like one of those wheels that you see and it's got like a bunch of little slices taken out, and usually it's like purple, black, purple. Like one of those. Like I pictured those like spinning while this whole thing was going on. It was very interesting. Anyway, yeah, I would give this one a 9.
Tired of being pushed around and told what to do.
I mean,
they'll fight the world until they're once and hell comes flowing through.
Yeah, I mean that's. I remember being a teenager and being at that point.
That's the thing. That's
you lived a pretty free way of childhood. Did you feel that way also? Don't you think it's kind of like just the way of the youth?
Well, of course.
Anything that wants to tell you what to do, all of a sudden you're like, I don't need anything.
Yeah, I stopped getting pushed around in my house around 14, though. It was when I had that final spanking, and I looked at my mom, and I'm like, we both knew, like...
As if she spanked you at 14, though.
Well, I mean, I call it a spanking, but she's Jamaican.
Oh, right.
So Jamaican spanking is literally anything I can find in the area.
I remember I got my last one when I was 12, and I remember thinking, this is so humiliating that I got spanked at 12 years old. Like, now my friends, because your friends would always ask that question, when was the last time you guys got one? Of course, my friends were all getting grounded from the time they were like 4. Nobody was getting spanked.
Yeah, and you get beaten. I mean... My mother wouldn't say spank you. Beat you want for beat you want a beating. I deserve it 9 times out of 10. But there were 1 times out of 10 I didn't, Ma. You have to pay for that. Talk to the homie.
I gave it a solid 9. What'd you give it?
I give this a 9.2. I wasn't expecting Rob Zombie to sonically to sound like this. Lyrically, it's great. Sonically, I was like, what the hell?
All right, you guys, Machine Head is up
band
next.
Band name Machine Head. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're coming up next.
We'll
you
be right
losers.
back.
All right, so go ahead. What did you?
I gave it a solid 9.
You gave it a 9. I gave it a 9 as well.
I thought you gave it a 9.2.
9.2.
9.2.
We shall return. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy merch.
Buy merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener. We're in the midst of Stacie's Metal Family.
Yes. Oh, man, babe, I just thought of an idea.
Go ahead.
Okay, anyway,
That's
we're
smart.
back.
That's smart.
That's right.
We're plotting on y'all.
We are. You set it up, though. You did it. You did that.
You did it to yourself.
Okay. Machine Head. We're not talking to Stacie's Metal.
Traders
Family,
get the knife, you heard?
That's right. Machine Head, Hallowed Be Thy Name is the name of the song. The family, Stacie's Metalhead family or Metal Family, says this is a cover of the legendary band Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden! Oh shit, we forgot the timestamps.
It's just a plain badass listen. This band does them so much justice.
You trying to do some timestamps on this bitch?
Nah,
We
this
forgot
one.
about it. Well, we'll start now with the timestamps. This is a cover of Iron Maiden.
Remember,
Hallowed
if
Be
you
Thy
want,
Name.
if you want the timestamps added in, you just send me an email with them, and I'll plunk them right in there. No problems.
What do you mean?
Put that up there so I
Put
can
what
get
up
the
where?
timestamps. 101. All right, let's go.
All right, here we go. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Machine Head, let's go.
I'm waiting in my cold cell when the bell begins to chime, reflecting on my past life, and it doesn't have much time. 'Cause at 5 o'clock they take me to the gallows pole. The sands of time for me are running yeah!
was
Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Or
Machine
Hallowed. Wait.
Hallowed Be Thy Name. Like,
Hallowed Be Thy Name.
yeah, so we did this in season 1. The actual song in season 1 is from Iron Maiden. This was a cover of the
I kind of wondered. Okay. Shit.
What did you do?
Went off on that. Okay, because there was something that was like familiar about it, but I like wasn't sure what it was. But it's too far separated for me. Can you remember what the original sounded like?
Yeah.
Which one do you like better?
I mean, everybody knows. Well, I don't know if everybody knows or not, but like when I got introduced to Iron Maiden on the channel, and so like, you know,
no kidding.
Yeah, those guitar. I mean, I knew about Iron Maiden, but
yeah,
I didn't know.
But you hadn't listened to any of it.
I hadn't listened to the thing. Yeah, so it was one of these. One of the OGs said, "Hey, listen to this." All the reactors were doing "Hallowed Be Thy Name" at the time, and you remember how we were. Like, if everybody was doing it, we didn't want to do it, which is ridiculous, but whatever. So finally, somebody blackmailed us into doing it. So
somebody blackmailed us.
We did it, and I was like, "Holy shit! Is that how these guys play?" Because like that to me, that's a signature guitar style of theirs. Like just the poetry that they do with that guitar, with that instrument. It's extremely poppy.
Yeah.
It's not very difficult to pull off, but it just sounds incredible.
I can't tell if something's difficult or not to pull off.
I don't know why more bands don't copy that shit, because it's incredible. One of the things to me about cover songs, and I think it was the big homie who said it. Where'd it go? It was just here. It was my buddy. There it is. Yeah, middle. Cover songs work if they're different. The cover band has to make it their song. So that was kind of like the first half of this. I was like, okay, you guys are doing great. This works, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, why did Machine Head need to do this song? Like, it sounds exactly like Iron Maiden. And I'm like, you know what? That's amazing because they're a legendary band. But then I thought to myself, like, but what makes this a cover, though? Then the second half of the song, when he got more guttural and more Machine Heady, then I was like, okay, that's probably one of the best covers I've ever heard. When you think about the concept of a cover, was Korn's. They did a Alice in Chains cover.
Okay.
Into Flood Again. That one, but but they did it as if Korn did it. Yeah, it's very hard to explain, but. It was a cover. It was Alice in Chains, but it was Korn doing Alice in Chains. They made it their own. So that the second half of the song is that for me. The first half of the song was just, like, okay, this is a good copying of the song, a good copy of it, but it's not a cover really good.
Yeah, I guess now that I've been, like, sort of like messing around in the industry for like all these years doing this channel, I could almost see like if a band takes somebody else's song and makes a cover of it. First of all, do they have to communicate with the original one to say, "Hey, are we cool to make a cover?" I
don't know. I mean, I'm assuming at some level they probably have to for like royalties or something like that.
I think, and maybe I could kind of see a band thinking it's rude if you take their song and do it exactly like them. Like, you just want to copy exactly what they sound like. Mm-hmm. Because then it's like, well, why did you do it? You just, what were you trying to tell everybody?
Right.
That you're as good as we are?
Right.
Like, it's kind of weird. But if the band takes the song and then they put their own band twist on it, then to me, I can see that's like a hat tip to the band to say, I love that song, I loved what you did, and this is our flair on it. But obviously, like, it's like respect to the originators because you're like, they're good. There was this I can't remember which song it was. I went like on this rabbit trail with the song. Maybe it was Wicked Game, but I'm not sure. Anyway, the original song was good, but then when you started listening to the covers, like there was one girl that did the cover like so much better than the original, and the comment section was saying like, to the original person, how does it feel to have somebody like out you on your own friggin' song? Yeah. And I was like, I don't think that's. I mean, it couldn't have been Wicked Game. But I think that what happened was the original artist had a great song, but the other person was able to pour more emotion and like feeling into it. So when you listen to it, like you just felt it when the cover did it, less when the original person did it.
There was the I forgot the name of the thing. It was Hurt, and it was originally by 9 Inch Nails, but then Johnny Cash covered it. Mm-hmm. And then when Johnny Cash covered it, Trent Reznor said it's his song now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how crazy it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see
as
that.
Middle just told us. that everybody was mad at me. They're like, "You idiot! This was he was covering Trent's song." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know."
Oh, Middle says you have to get the rights to cover it.
Yeah, I already.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't get it though. Like if. I wonder if the artist has the rights, because the artist, the one that I was talking about, she was clearly getting upset. Like I even saw like an interview with her like talking about it and bringing up how people say, how does it feel to have somebody own you on your own song and stuff? Yeah. So I don't know why she would keep clicking yes, somebody can cover this. I'm wondering if the label has more of the say than she does.
Yeah, unless she owns the publishing, it's up to the label.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, well, I mean, it's out there already.
I know. What are you gonna do? I know. It was such a great song, though. She just didn't. You know, but I mean, you know, it's.
But with this song, when the second half of the song, when he started getting all guttural and shit, like more of like Machine Head, I said, okay.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of owning it a little bit. This is something I would not get from the original song, which is hard to do. It's hard to like. I forgot. Somebody covered Chop Suey. Mm-hmm. And.
Well, it's not that great.
It was just Chop Suey all over it.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
just think covers.
I don't feel like that's. Like if you want to do that and like.
Like I would never do a blind cover just because. I can't think of any ways. I think obviously I grew up on Korn, so my playing is it's just too close to them. Mm-hmm. So if I tried to do it, it would just be you know what I'm saying?
Over again, yeah.
Little Uzi Vert did Chop Suey. Oh my god. Was it Little Uzi Cold Like Minnesota? Isn't that him?
No.
Isn't that him?
How dare he disrespect that song?
Okay, so I love this song. I loved it a lot. I thought you know, obviously it's Iron Maiden, so it's gonna get a high score unless you completely wreck it. Mm-hmm. But I really do appreciate that the it was like the first half was basically the singer saying, "Look, I could hang with this guy," okay. And then the second half was like, all right, this is us. Mm-hmm. So I get it, you know, because like, you know, you got to hit certain notes and shit like that. This is Iron Maiden now. This is not, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to hit notes.
Yeah.
And so I think in the first half he was like, yo, I can hang with this dude. I can legit sing. Like I'm a metal guy, but I can legit sing.
Yeah.
And then the second half, it's like, okay, boom, here we go.
Yeah.
So I liked it from that perspective. I'm gonna give it a strong 9.5.
I would give this one a 9.2. And remember, guys, if you want the lyrical breakdown, check out the original. It's up on our channel, so check it out there.
I because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, if he would have done just guttural the whole time, I'd have been like, yeah, you know, because he couldn't really do vocally what Homeboy was doing.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you know, so he made, you know. But this one, he's like, nah, bro, I can legit sing. Now I'm gonna do the other shit. Okay, from that perspective, that's a 9.5.
Okay.
That's
yeah. Okay,
that's
I will raise my score to a 9.4 because I think that is a good point. They didn't do the whole thing exactly like it because then like what's the point in doing it? But they showed us.
To all the people I told some personal information to that kept it quiet, I appreciate you. Please continue to do so.
Yeah.
But thank you for being a good friend.
Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you guys on the other side of the break. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone. Who's next? Wait. Hold on. Before we go, Stacie's Metal Family. What did you give this song? I'm curious. I mean, obviously you guys suggested the song, but what do you rank it as? We need your rankings as well.
We need you.
All you beautiful people on Twitter, don't forget, if you retweet this and send a screenshot of it and send it to us at vinandsori@gmail.com.
Yep.
At the end of April, we're going to be doing a drawing. Somebody's going to win a free song. Somebody is going to win a free shirt. And we have some design ideas about shirts that we're going to give to you beautiful people.
True.
Okay. All right. So Stacie's Metal Family is going to get us a rating, and then we'll see
Up
you
next, you guys, we have Pantera. Yesterday don't mean shit.
Pantera. I haven't listened to them boys in quite some time.
Yeah,
Pantera,
it's nice to have them back.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Go.
I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and Charles shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes,
Pantera,
dear listener. Yes, dear
Yesterday
listener.
don't mean shit. You know, there are certain songs that when I read the title, I just immediately like the title. And this was one of them. Well, this one could be like, I don't know where the song is going with it. It could mean that you're like just letting go of yesterday, or it could mean like you're like...
You're
Actually,
like what?
I don't know. Now that I'm saying it out, I think both of my answers are basically the same thing. Like, you're just... Well, no, one of them could be you're like letting go of it because it actually was super meaningful, or the other one is like it really doesn't mean anything. It's completely meaningless to you. But I have a feeling it's like you're just getting past it. Okay, Pantera, Yesterday Don't Mean Shit. This is the daughter's hype song going to softball.
What?
Little Hell, as Vin calls her, LOL. Hell as in, like, hell. Down there. All right, you guys, this is her that's cute. This is her hype song for softball. Okay.
That's so legit.
Yeah, Vinny knows all about that. He has hype songs when he's trying to get stuff done as well.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. She's on some gang shit. What a family. What a cool family.
I know, right?
That is such an awesome family. All right,
All right, timestamp is in the description.
We got the timestamps in the description.
Guys,
bitches.
don't forget we have Rumble and more stuff is going up. If you are a patron, there's a poll up for some additional content from yours truly. Vinny's going to be in the Discord more often, and I set up a poll to see what sort of content you would want.
I was perusing. Was it? That's what he used to say. That's what he used to say. Hal used to say perusing.
Oh, okay, it sounded
perusing.
like an old white man's word. That's why I was surprised to hear you say it. I was like, wait, what?
Shout out to all old white people.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to all the white
So
people.
what was I perusing? What was I? I forgot what I said.
Discord.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Discord. I had a 45-minute long conversation on Discord yesterday.
You had a what? A 4-hour discussion?
45-minute long.
Oh really? Look at that. No, now Finn will see all of our secrets. No.
No. I'm staying away from that. I'm staying away from that to give y'all your privacy.
Privacy.
Your privacy, because I respect y'all. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of respect. All right.
That's true.
Here we go.
That is very true. Yikes.
Here we go.
All right. Pantera, Yesterday Don't Mean Shit. Shout out to Little Hell.
Let's do this shit. Here we go. I was about to start singing the song. I don't even know what the song sounds like. All right, hey, Machine Head. Yesterday don't mean shit. Here we go. Yesterday don't mean.
No, this is Pantera, not Machine Head.
Right, but it's yesterday don't mean softball. Let's do it. Oh my god. Knock the ball. Woo! There's nothing special about it. It's either there when you're born or not. Gifted with talent and no big deal. Welcome to the death of a century. Yesterday don't mean shit. What's over is over and nothing between. Yesterday don't mean shit, because tomorrow's a day you have to face. No rewinding time. Yesterday don't mean shit. Yesterday don't mean shit. Reliving old reviews is a useless tool of confusion. Don't hold your breath for the turnaround. Coming to the world of endless time. Yesterday don't mean shit. What's over is over and nothing between. Yesterday don't mean shit, because tomorrow's a day you have to face. No rewinding time. Yesterday don't mean shit. Yesterday don't mean shit. They'll tell you all about guilt. Anytime you face the darkness, but darkness is a friend to you. Embrace it after the madness. Life has God in wars and conflict. Oppression in you, oppression in you. Allowing your mind is paranoia. Oppression in you, the oppressor's in you.
protect you and I'll keep to myself.
It can only be that way. Man. Oh, there's so many things I could say.
Yeah. Okay.
Randy said, this is why I have a dime tattoo.
I mean,
if you know Randy, like I know Randy, it would take a lot for that man to put another man's name on his body. Okay? If you know my boy Randy the way I know my boy Randy, that is the ultimate respect. Can I just stop for a second here and give a shout out to all of the lady metalheads? I am very, very impressed with the fact that Shorty, this is her hype song for baseball.
Yeah. I was like, okay, all right, Fernando, you need to send us a clip of one of her.
I cannot tell you the respect level. This is exactly how you're supposed to use heavy metal, young lady. This is the most gangster family in on the internet. I wish I could have that picture. Show that picture again. With it was them, and it was the brother and the sister, and the brother was kind of like on some gang shit, like, you know, like they're a badass family, man. Yep. I love that family.
I mean, how can you not be when that's your doorbell, you know?
But yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, there's a lot of songs you can listen to as a hype song.
Yeah.
But look at the lyrics of this song. That's the thing about metal, man. Like, it's all fun and games, and you know, we're smashing shit and blah 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 blah. But there's some real biblical, like this one right here.
Oh, 100%.
Yesterday don't mean shit. You know, that's what Jesus said about, you know, like, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has enough trouble for itself. Yep. Or Paul talking about, you know, putting behind what's done and looking forward to what's coming. Like,
I forgot about that one.
Yeah. And that was in the context of him doing something good. And he's like, yep, that's good. And now I'm going on to the next thing. Like, that's a powerful philosophy to have, man, because it makes it so that you don't get stuck in, you know, these loops. You know, when he talks about no rewinding time, do me a favor and take care of that.
Yep, you got it.
Okay. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I really, really, really appreciate the fact that at this young age, they already understand how to use music.
Yep, exactly.
Like a lot of people, and it's not disrespect to anybody, but I think what I'm about to say about Shorty, and I forgot your name. What I'm about to say about Shorty is pretty much true of like everybody in our community for the most part. Mm-hmm. And I hate to make it sound like this because I'm sure it's true in other contexts. Okay, but metalheads, in my view in particularly, use the music. We use the music. Like, metalheads are so approximate to their own emotions that they say, okay, I'm going to listen to this because it's hard and heavy. I'm going to listen to this because I want to cry. When Shorty's thinking about all the butterflies in your stomach and all the rest, because I know what it's like to go, even I used to get nervous in practice. So, like, to be able to have a song, Abigail, shout out to freaking Abigail, I swear to God, I want to get her a shirt. But like, when you're nervous or whatever before a game or whatever, I remember the first day I was on shortstop, they moved me from first to shortstop, which is basically a very big promotion. They're basically saying you're the best infielder in the you know what position do you play, Abigail? You know, I was really, really scared. And if I would have had some metal in there, it would have been cool. Because the big thing about sports is that you have to, yesterday don't mean shit. Like, whatever you did, and that's good and bad. So, like, if I had 3 errors the day before, it's like, hey, it's a new game. Yesterday don't mean shit.
And you know what? Tom Brady said the same thing. He said, like, it doesn't matter what you accomplished yesterday. Like, all of that is over. Whether it was you did great or you didn't do great. Like, all of it is over yesterday. Today's a new day, and you have to, you know, whatever. That was in that documentary. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think that it's interesting, like, when I was listening to this song, because I did think that, like, I also felt like there was biblical principles in there that that actually I've put into practice over the last year, you know, at different points, because I've told you guys before, I wanted to live my life with no regrets. So then when I found that I had regrets, I just kept like throwing it off and trying not to think about it. And I'm actually really good at compartmentalizing something and
You're a badass
completely. It's like when it's gone, it's friggin' gone. And like sometimes I'm even surprised at how far gone a memory can actually be, or an event can actually be from my own mind. But then I realized Vin always would be talking about like grace and the cross and stuff like that. And I had a concept and an understanding of it, but to apply it actually to real life, I wasn't able to do that. But I eventually hit a point where I had no choice, and I had to like face certain things about myself, because I realized that the more that I was not facing it, the more I was hurting people around me. So I was like, okay, so that means I just have to face these certain aspects of myself. And the only way that I was able to face those was I would like see it, and like I would be like so full of regret and like the just pain that you feel or whatever. And then I'd remember, okay, but that's why there's a cross. And Jesus said that he loved me before I loved him, and he already died before I was even born. And so that means everything that I've ever done, in the Psalm 139 is like my jam right now. And it says like, you know my thoughts while they're afar off, and like he knows what I'm going to say before I even say it. And every single point in my life was written out by him before it even happened. So applying that, like when he was saying like, yesterday don't mean shit, because tomorrow's the day you have to face. They'll tell you about all the guilt, and in time you'll face the darkness, but darkness is a friend to you. Embrace and fly through the madness. I think that the only way that you can do that in a healthy way is to know is by the cross. And so that's been like huge for me, because I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you've been this shitty person, you did X, Y, and Z thing, whatever, but Jesus died on the cross for that sin. And so in that aspect, it's good, but you still have to face that in regular life. We had a friend that was an addict, and I was new to the concept of addiction in that way, like drug use addiction that will ruin your family life. And this guy would be in and out of the lives of his kids, and he was telling me like how horrible it was, because he wanted to be in the life of his daughter, because he was trying to like straighten out his life. And so he told me like how he wanted to be in his daughter's life, and he was like basically saying that his ex wasn't letting him come around. And I was like, because I knew him and I didn't know his ex, I was just sympathizing with him in the moment that he was saying it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. Like, this guy wants to be around his kid. And I wasn't looking at the full picture of how troubling that was for the kid to have him just in and out, in and out, in and out. And so when Vinny pointed that out to me in the situation, to be like, this is what's happening as a result. So that guy, he needed to face like what he had done. Like, let's say, I mean, he ended up going back into it. I'm not sure where he's at now, but if you're the type of person that has done things that has hurt the people around you, even if you have the forgiveness of God, because you that's taken care of, you still have the regular consequences of life, the regular things about life that is going to play out. And so when he's talking about like, they'll tell you about all the guilt, in time you'll face the darkness, to me, I'm like, the guilt can get taken care of because of the cross, but you still have to walk out what you've done in your relationships. And he had to, like, I don't, that was just part of what he had to face. But when he says, but darkness is a friend to you, embrace and fly through the madness, flying past God in wars and conflict, oppression in you, plowing through mines and paranoia, oppression in you, the oppressors in you. That whole sequence was a little bit troubling to me, because I do think that there's a way of, like, when you're facing your shit, to not, where the darkness can kind of like be an oppression to you. And like, he talked about the paranoia and all that stuff. So I love the idea of like, yesterday doesn't mean shit, and like you can get over those things and stuff. But I do think that there's a healthy way and an unhealthy way of like kind of traversing through that.
Yeah, but like
that guy wasn't facing it, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine being that kid and seeing it clearly, but adults around you were dumb and shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about like this particular family is one of the most impressive things to me on the internet. And I'm on the internet for a living. But this family, the way they are, the way they stay together, the way they stick together and they cheer for each other, like, this family is like the prototypical family like in the world. What I say to you, Abigail, is that like, if you can master that principle that we heard in this song in your sports, I guarantee you, if you get that down, you're going to kill shit in life.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to kill it in life. The people who can, you're going to make an error, you're going to miss a pop fly, you're going to do something to fuck it up, you're going to strike out, bases loaded, you're going to hit into a 6-4-3, blah, blah, blah. And you're also going to be the reason people win, too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm such a big, like, I'm very happy that I did sports when I was younger. The lessons that you learn. Remember, sports was originally invented as an alternative to war. So that means that sport is designed to prepare you for the most austere circumstance in life.
Yeah.
So if you can master that, and if you can master the mental game, and if you can master the emotional game, when you hit high school, you start feeling all weird and shit about whatever, you can use that strength that you called on in baseball. You can use that strength to get out of whatever situation that you're in. So I'm very, very, very... First of all, I'm not your dad, okay? I'm just an older big bro, but I'm proud that this is your fucking song, man.
Yeah,
Excuse my French.
yeah. I really want to.
Like, I'm not mad at Britney Spears. Like, I'm not mad. There's so many alternatives. This girl out here saying, yeah, yesterday. Shit.
If you would have seen the songs that inspired me when I was a teenager, you know, I'm just gonna say you're gonna go further in life.
I was listening to Mo Murder. Don't find that song. But shout out to her. But honestly though, like there's a lot, especially as a woman, like there's a lot of being successful in the world is the mental game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a young woman, it's the mental game. And you got.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna kill shit because you just got way too much support. You got too much love, and you yourself, God just made you some sort of freakishly amazing individual. Okay. I'm gonna give this one. I don't know.
This is a 9.8. I love
talking
this
about
one.
this song.
I love this one.
I like the lyrics, bro. Yeah, you can't rewind time, man. You can't rewind time. You know what I'm saying? So, it's one of my buddies, well, not a buddy of mine yet, but Bernardo Castro talked about it. He said, "What is the past?" And you say, "Well, the past are the things that happened, you know, before now." And he says, like, "What is that? Does it actually exist?" And we go, "Well, no, the past doesn't exist." Like, what? And he goes, "Okay, well, what's the future?" He's like, "Well, the future is what will happen tomorrow." He's like, "Well, does that exist?" When you go, "Well, no." And then you're like, "Well, the only thing that exists is a present." He goes, "Yeah, but what is the present? The minute you hold on to the present, it becomes the past."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah, that's true. But then you just told me the past doesn't exist." So the smart thing to do is to say, you know what? I missed a pop fly or whatever. I'm just going to go and get the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do. Because everything else, none of this shit is actually what it appears to be. What did you give it?
I gave it a 9.8.
I'm going to give it a 9.8.
I really liked it.
9.8. And shout out to Abigail. Shout out to you, Abigail. All right, dear listener, we got one more song for you.
Orbit Culture.
I don't know if you've heard of them. There's a band called All Orbit Culture. That song, I listened to a song from them like 2 or 3 years ago on the channel, and it was like the rest of the year.
Oh,
I was
really?
listening to that shit. Yeah, Orbit Culture.
Well,
Orbit Culture on the
this
other side of
one's
the brick.
From the Inside.
From the Inside loses Vin out.
Sorry, out.
Don't. Timestamp. I'm Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. Charles Arlinda.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener.
Abigail, don't forget, I want a clip of your sports endeavors.
Your baseball prowess.
Let us see. Okay. You guys, up next is Orbit Culture from the inside.
Go ahead.
Orbit Culture from the inside. Let's see what our DJs have to say about it. This is one of Stacie's cooking songs. Okay. When this is playing, I predict tacos. All right. Apparently she plays this on Tuesday. No, she doesn't say that. All right, let me hear, Stacie, what it is that you listen to. You know what, Stacie? This is what happens when I cook. A million voices.
I keep telling Shorty, tell him to get away from you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, and she never does.
It's exactly, we've been saying this for years. And then, but I really do my best cooking if I can just get left alone, and I can just get in my zone and then just focus on what I'm doing, because I really love every step of the cooking to be excellent, so the end product is delectable. But yeah, I be burning things, over melting things, all kinds of stuff when people are talking, because they don't have pauses, and then the babies are down there, so it's just a lot of this, and I'm like, ah. Anyway, one of these days I'm gonna take you up on it, babe, and I'm gonna actually be like, guys, you know what I've been talking about for years? I expect that you respect this boundary. Orbit Culture from the inside. Let's check it out. Stacie's cooking song.
Orbit Culture. You don't have any culture.
You have no culture.
It is because you are lost.
Yes.
You don't know what that's about. If somebody knew what that's about, I would give them a shirt. What? You know that? I gotta give you a shirt.
That's one of those things you can't even Google.
Exactly. You can't even Google it. That's true.
So if they know it, they know it.
If they know it, then they know it. If you know, you know.
Yep.
All right, here we go, guys. Orbit Culture from the inside. Let's do it.
Nice.
I love this effect on my amp.
Yeah. I like that.
shit. Those you put extra spice in them tacos when you listen to this song?
I mean, damn.
I'd have to get one of them you know, in the ancient East, they had the cupbearer to taste the food, make sure it wasn't poison.
Yeah.
I'd have to get one of those.
Right.
If I'm hearing this song and you're like, here's some mega spicy tacos, I'm like, holy shit.
Right. Here's a leg of lamb, matter of fact.
This family should write a book about how to use heavy metal in everyday life. The uses of heavy metal in everyday life.
My thing is,
if you guys don't write that book, I promise you in a week, I'm going to write a book and put it up on Amazon. I've never seen a family like this in my life.
Yeah.
Not even on the Christian side. Like, I don't see Christians that have like soundtracks like, this is my baseball song.
Yeah.
This is my jujitsu song.
Yeah.
This is my taco song. Good night. That's the reason God invented music. Get off your ass and do something. Good night.
I have to know. Stacie, one day you're going to have to cook for us because I need to know. Does this make for like an excellent meal, or is this kind of like, you're like, oh, she was jamming out? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but
is this like, are you like a badass cook and you're listening to this music? If you are, your next level.
Yeah, but do you
like,
think Homeboy? What do you think Homeboy's gonna? Oh, this shit is trash,
that's
girl.
Why I
Please.
said. That's
his
why
life
I
is in
said,
his hands at this point.
That's why I said she's gonna have to cook for us. We'll be the judge of it.
I think Orbit Culture is probably my favorite new band. Because when these guys hit, they did a song, the last Orbit Culture song we reviewed, I think is in December. I can't even listen to it because it was about a mass shooting. And like that happened, like we did that review like 2 or 3 days after we had our own active shooter situation. So I can't listen to that song anymore. But every time they do a song, man, shit is crazy. This song too. I mean, you know, obviously,
your memory is incredible. I mean,
how do you forget that? It was like 3-5 months ago.
I don't remember it. And if somebody said, if there was anything like, and it was like, you know, there was like really a lot at stake, I would still fail the test.
Really?
Yeah.
You forgot about that?
Yeah, 100%. I do. I remember the shooting happening in our town. I remember that. But do I remember the music that was played after?
No. This is like days later. But
yeah.
I mean, I was out there, so it's probably easier for me to not forget because I was out there. But
why? Yeah, I mean, I think that we both had different experiences that night. You know.
Is this the first time you're telling me this? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? We had different experiences.
Well, we had different experiences because there's, you know, when you're the one that's out in that shit, you're able to do something like.
I didn't do shit. I didn't find them.
Right, but you were still on the lookout. You were still doing. I was just like sitting, waiting, and looking at my kids. You know what I mean? Like it was a crazy thing, and you don't know what's gonna happen or where things are gonna go or what you're gonna do because like I was sitting there. There's like half of your spirit that's like, okay, I gotta be maternal for these kids so that way they feel like we're okay. But then there's the other side of you that's like the blood side of you that's like, but if anybody comes through that door, I'm going to do everything I can. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like literally everything I can. So you're kind of like, it's these two extremes that are crashing up against each other the whole night. And you were gone. So I have eyes on everybody else. And I know, okay, up until this moment, everybody's good. Up until this moment, everybody's good. Well, I don't know if you're good. And I do think that
you was thinking about me?
Of course, babe. Are you crazy?
No, I was completely fine.
Right, but I'm not with you, and I can't. It's not like I have a crystal ball to see where you are. I'm like, I don't know moment to moment where you are, or if something went south, or what happened. So
yeah,
it was a crazy experience. I think I was pretty quiet and pretty like zoned in my eyes because I was like, make sure everybody's good, make sure everybody stays away from the door. Like, you know, you're trying to do everything that you can to make sure people, you know, it was a crazy night though. It was a really crazy night. Yeah. This song is wild, man.
Why?
It's just heavy. And like it doesn't relent. And even when you get to the end, like even the outro is just like it took me, like I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, that it was a good line. Talks about like, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
You'll see through the ice, but you can't reach it. And then to the end, he says me at some point, which is true. Like, you got people in your life that you know they're in trouble, but it's like you can't reach them.
Yep. Yeah. Not a good feeling at all.
Go ahead.
I mean, we all have different experiences. Like I said, even that one that we just explained, like your memories of that, the night of the shooting, are not the same as my memories of the night of the shooting. And the way that you felt and what you experienced was just different than what I experienced. And I think that there is a side of it too that's like, well, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't have left my kids in the room anyway. Like, even if you were like, jump in the car, shorty, I wouldn't have, because I would have stayed with them. But, you know, like when I think about, you know, if you and I were on like some darkened trail on a walk and then something popped off, like the concept of like, well, this just came up. Our kids were having a conversation and one of our sons was putting out a lyric, and he was talking about, and it was directly talking about gender roles. And he said, you run and I'll fight. And one of our girls got massively offended by that line. And I was like, well, hold on a second. Like, because I totally understand her frustration and anger with that line. While at the same time, I do think that our society has kind of pushed us to reject gender roles and to hate what those look like, especially like for like women. But I agree with her. Like the concept of if something pops off, like that I should run. I understand, like when I see it in a movie, like, you know, we were watching that show and like they were okay, but Shorty followed, and because she followed, she endangered everybody, because then she ended up getting caught and stuff. Like, I understand all of that, but like nobody wants to be the person that runs from the fight, especially if you're a certain type of person. Like, I think that there are cowards that want to run from a fight, but I think that there are other people that are like, no, like crash and burn. Like, I'm staying right here. So this song was challenging because he does end up saying me, but at first you're like kind of like, it all crashes down from the inside and it all crashes down on me. You'll see through the ice, but you cannot reach it. And I think when you're watching, especially somebody you love, one of your friends or whatever, and they're going through some shit, and there's only so much that you can do. Like, you know, it reminds me of like when I was delivering the babies and like you were there was only so much that you could do to help. From my side, I felt, you know, completely helped by you, but from your side, you probably felt powerless. And I think that it can be like that. So when the depiction that he gave, like the ice concept, because I came up in Maine, so it's cold here. Winter kind of lasts a really long time. And I remember the first time that I went ice fishing, and the ice is like, it's like thick like this, right? And they've cut these slits in the ice, but it's wide enough for you to fall through. And as a kid, like my parents warned us a lot, like be very careful. And there was 2 holes on both sides of the cabin. Honestly, I didn't really enjoy the experience. I don't like, getting a fish to swallow a hook. I think that's horrible. I don't like taking those bloodworms and putting them on the hook. That's disgusting and also horrifying. And then the concept that there was no real safety, because I was always klutzy growing up. Like literally, like everybody would be so frustrated with how much I would trip and fall. And yet I was brought to this event that I could like slip down this hole and like forever be lost under the ice. And it was dark in there. I just hated the entire thing. The only thing that I liked was there was food and there was a wood stove inside of this little cabin. That was kind of cozy and cute. But anyway, the idea that you could slip down that ice and that the current is going to pull you away and that you're probably not going to be able to get back out. And the ice is so thick, you're not going to be able to break through. So when it says it all crashes down from the inside, it all crashes down on me. You will see through the ice, but you can't reach it. Like, that concept of seeing, your friends really struggling. And like, it's as though they're under the ice and you can't break through. But for me, like, the only way that I can, I entrust myself to the spirit that would be in the ice with them. But sometimes that's not, sometimes that's good, and, like, I'm able to, like, really, like, rest in that. And then there are other times where you can't, But yeah, like, I think that that's something, if you love people, you're gonna experience this at some point in your life. Like, you're gonna see your friends going through some shit, or you're gonna be the one going through some shit and looking up through the ice yourself. But yeah, it was definitely a tough one, and especially that the outro, Darkened Trails Imprisonment, has swallowed me inside this hell that the air I breathe repulses me, yet I can't see for what's inside of me. And I think that is true. That is so true. Like, damn, I don't know. I don't know what kind of tacos you're making, Stacie.
It's a good song.
It's a really good song. Yeah.
It's a really good song. Shut up. I mean, can't save everybody, but I can't save anybody. Okay.
Stacie's Metal Family. We had in our town. We're from Lewiston, Maine. There was a shooting that happened. Was that in October or
Yeah, it was in October.
You would remember it better than I would. Yeah. And it's a small town, so there's not really a lot of places that people can go, and so it just hit up all your typical spots, what you'd expect if somebody was going to do that in a small town. But it's cold,
Yeah, it's tough. Dude went to the Sykes like 2 or 3 days prior and said he was hearing voices telling him to do all types of shit to himself, and he was a veteran. You know how we treat veterans, so rest in peace to him.
It was crazy though, because honestly, I still haven't been able to process through this because it's so troubling to me. But the day before, I had said to Vinny, like, we should take all the kids and go bowling. And you didn't necessarily say no.
You're wrong. It was the day that it happened.
Day. Oh, I thought I was saying, like, tomorrow we should go.
No, it was the day that it happened.
Okay. Whatever it was, we would have landed there right in the middle of all of that. But Vinny was like, because Reza is 3. And honestly, he makes decisions. Like, he doesn't care if I think that he thinks to himself, I really want to fuck this up. But they're going to put me in timeout after. But it's more fun. Like, that's worth it to him. Like, he does the calculation and it's worth it to him. Does it all the time with all kinds of stuff. So you can see that the calculation is made and he just goes for it. So Vinny was like thinking that through, and he was like, Reza's gonna fuck it up over there. It's gonna be an event, you know what I'm saying? And so that was the reason, right? Yeah. That's what you had communicated. So we didn't end up going to bowling because of one of our bad kids. And then we weren't there when it happened. And I'll tell you, this bowling alley, I grew up at this bowling alley. We used to go there as teenagers and stuff.
2 minutes away from where we live.
Yeah, literally. We used to go to this bowling alley, and I can't tell you, I hate when you have, like, thoughts like this, because it's kind of like fucks with your head, but, like, I almost every time that I would go there, I would think to myself, damn, if there was an emergency here, where would you go? Because I always, ever since I was a kid, I would do that. If you go into, you go to watch the movies, I was always casing the exits just in case. So yeah, it was pretty wild. Like having that thought over and over, and then hearing those people were in that situation. Because as soon as I heard that the shooting was happening over there, I'm like, there's no exit. And sure enough, because I remember thinking you could run down the alley and go hide in the pins. But I don't even know how. It really wasn't a good setup. It wasn't a good setup. And sure enough, those people were in that situation. So
there's a lot of people out there looking for Dude, though.
Yeah, there was.
There's a lot of people out there looking for Dude.
That was also like a weird feeling, because when after 9/11 happened, there was like this camaraderie that you felt in the city. Because I've grown up here, so there was this camaraderie that you felt, and it was like this protection, this care, and everything that everybody was giving to each other. But this was different. Like the spirit that filled that city that night, because dude was on the loose, and we were hearing, you know, rumors and different things. He's popping up here, popping up there, and so you didn't know where he was. If when somebody's in that situation, they almost become legendary, like bigger than life, and so. You know, I mean, like, this guy's like, you know, he's jumping in wormholes, essentially, and popping up here, popping up there. Obviously, he wasn't. It was obviously, you know, rumors of this and that and stuff. But, like, yeah, mad people were out there trying to find him. And I think, like, it was, I'll tell you, it was a real masculine energy that was out that night, because I think that there was just an understanding that, like, men were going to protect their city, and they were going to protect their families. And, you know, you were out there trying to make sure that we were safe too. And I think that was also part of what kind of gave me like a sort of like focus that night, was that I know that you think stuff out. And so if, you know, and after you gave me the layout of this, you know, I'm not going to get into details about it, but you gave me the layout and stuff and an understanding of the type of situation, you know, that we were in. So, yeah, you know, I'm not somebody that celebrates violence necessarily, but this man already had done so much violence that, you know, man needed to be stopped. But it would have been better if our healthcare system had done its job, and then it wouldn't have gotten to the point that it got to. But lives were lost because of that.
A lot of people could have still been here. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's why you got to check up on your family and be a good brother to your people. So, Stacie's metal family, you guys are close. Abby and the boy, I don't know the boy's name. You guys, no matter what happens, you guys are going to get older. Shit's going to get, you know, you're going to get on each other's nerves. But you only got one of those. So, appreciate it while you have it. You heard? You guys are an amazing family, honestly. Yeah,
we love every time we have one of these with you guys. Like,
you guys are like one of the healthiest family. Now, obviously, it's the internet, right? Yeah. So we only see what we see. But you guys are one of the most healthy families on the internet in the world. Fernando, that's right. Fernando, you take care of your little sister or your big sister. She's gonna take care of you. You guys fight.
Oh, really? He's a junior, so there's two Fernandos?
Fight, scratch, and claw, whatever. But you guys stay together and call each other every day. Because you got people out here calling family members. They're not picking up the phone. You feel me? It's a good song. All right. This is a 9.5 for me.
This one, I think, is... I loved the sound of it. I think it's relevant. I could really, like... I could feel it. I could feel it sonically. I could feel it emotionally. And, you know, it gave some really, really clear visuals. This one's probably... This is a 9.9 for me. 9.9, y'all.
All right, good. All right, guys. That's it. Another one in the books, bitches. Check up on your friends. Make sure they're good. You feel me? If you're a friend and you're not doing good, don't lie to your friends and tell them you're good. You know, Get the help that you need to get. You feel me?
Yep.
You got two Fernandos in the house. All right. So we got Stacie, Abigail, Fernando, and Fernando. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll start with the girls first. Abigail, Stacie, Fernando, and Fernando. Shout out to all you beautiful people.
Stacie, the matron of the house.
It literally says Stacie's metal family in this bitch.
Yes. Stacie, Abigail, Fernando.
SAFF. There you go. You guys are a gang. SAFF in this bitch. Saf in this bitch. Or Saf gender. Whatever. I'm surprised there isn't a... I'm going to get out of here before I get in trouble.
Careful.
Way to not be here, Dwayne. Way to not be here, Dwayne.
Yeah.
Where were you when I needed you, bro? Ian, I sent you a message about a crazy thing I was in. Oh, did you text it to me? If you've been texting me, my bad. I've been behind on my messages a little bit. I'll get back into it. Yeah, but I'll review those texts later, bro. For sure. All right, much love to everybody. CISO in this bitch.
Bye, guys.
We're out of here.
Check up on Patreon to catch when the next streams are. The entire list for April is there.
Middle, do me a favor and build me a room on, what do you call that
Discord.
thing? Discord. Like, just for me, where I can, like, hang out and chill for a little bit. I don't want to, like, encroach on y'all's, you know, thing. You know, here comes the principal and all. You know, people want to talk shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to encroach on people's thingamajiggy. Kai, I did not see your email yet.
I did.
Did you see his email?
I did. I wanted to actually watch it with Vinny. He put like 5 top moments in Vin and Sori history.
Did he?
And yeah, he's got the stuff in there. So
it should be Vin and Sori on there, Middle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Discord is your turf. Like, I'm not trying to encroach on your guys' turf. I was I was out there yesterday talking to a turf, actually.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
I was out there for about 45 minutes. I'm about to interview Shorty.
Yep. That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a really good interview. Very interesting.
Okay, thank you, CISO. Text that to me, like, so we can have a couple days to hype up the video, huh? Give me some time to hype up the video, bro. All right, guys. Much
Thanks
love.
for coming through, you guys.
Love your neighbor. Take care of each other. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Did we get the timestamp for the last?